Somebody betrayed her. Somebody betrayed her. Somebody betrayed her. Okay, hold on. She has 3 different manuscripts, okay? Because it was reported she was writing a tell-all book about her partner, baby daddy. She's kind of laughing because she suspected that this would happen, but it blew her mind when it happened. This is so like crazy. I am being shown November of 2023. So her death date was November 15th of 2018, but I'm being shown November of 2023. I don't think we're done with this. I feel she's shaking her head yes. Before she stare at me, then she wait, and now she's shaking her head yes. I am being shown that things are being prepared. She is showing me a trumpet. People are standing straight up. And there are people going to speak, not just about what happened to her, about other things. Something is unraveling.
Y'all, on June 3rd and then on June 4th of this year in 2023, a YouTube psychic medium named Sloan Bella uploaded a 2-part reading on the late and great Kim Porter. And the thing she said is mind-blowing, y'all. She seemingly predicted the lawsuit that was filed on November 15th, 2023 by Cassie against P. Diddy Combs. Y'all, I cannot make this crap up. Not only that, she spoke on the details on what may have really happened to Kim Porter in her death and what she's seen that ultimately scared her about P. Diddy, and goes into the details of how energy is harnessed through evil and ritualistic sex. Y'all, let's hop into it. This is crazy. So Cassie was filing a lawsuit accusing P. Diddy Combs of multiple accounts of manipulation and abuse that spanned for a decade. Cassie is really brave for this, considering how people think P. Diddy is in the industry. I mean, people are literally scared of this man, y'all. Cassie is alleging some evil acts done at the hands of Diddy. This was a 30-page plus court filing that she took the time to put together and put out there for the world. Cassie met Diddy in 2006 when she was 19 and he was 37. At the time, Diddy was in a relationship with Kim Porter and shared 2 to 3 children together. But shortly after meeting Cassie, Diddy went after her and broke up with Kim. Cassie is now coming out and speaking on what the relationship was really like for her, which was distressful, draining, and toxic. Y'all, what if I told you that Kim Porter is also speaking her truth about this and what happened to her at the hands of Diddy, as well as using Bella as a medium to tell her story? What if I told you Kim Porter said this lawsuit would happen, and time will reveal how P. Diddy operates behind the scenes pertaining to hiding behind the energy of children, protecting his image, and covering up ritualistic sex? Y'all, this is so eerie. When I caught wind of this, I had to watch this for myself. Now, let me show you some highlights from this reading that I found very fascinating, and then we will get into some things. This is very interesting. I wanted to go over this with y'all, so let's just go over the highlights here.
Hi everyone, I'm Sloan from SloanBella.com, and I am back with another energetically channeled celebrity video. I was interrupted profusely, and I must say, rather interestingly, by a young woman who stood in the corner of my studio with her arms like this, crossed over, kind of giving me the, what are you gonna say that's of interest look, analyzing me, not sure that she trusts me. So there were huge trust issues as to why I was going to talk about her, because she's like, I don't know you. So what that led me to was, in this life, this woman was literally not trusting the people around her, people she didn't know and people she did know. That's the culprit of why she died. But what I'm being shown is 3 months prior to her passing, I'm getting a huge amount of head congestion with her, allergies, sniffles, pet allergies, nasal issues, and she has nasal spray. When I see the nasal spray on the week before she died, I see it like a magnet. So a magnet with a red end and the magnet part, the gray at the end. And you know, if you do pencil shavings with a magnet and you hold it up, the pencil shavings stick to it like that. She inhaled this up her nose, pencil shavings. And I don't know what is in pencil shavings exactly. I don't even know what it is.
I think it was lead or some type of metal. Obviously, girl, she's basically saying 3 months prior before her death, she was feeling this nasal, just pain and she was using nasal spray. So she's pretty much giving you insight on like what was going on with Kim's mindset at the time. But let's keep going.
How did I get the cold? I don't know. Probably from the kids. Probably from the kids in the neighborhood touching some. Who knows, right? It's all before, all before the 2020 lockdown stuff. So who knows where she got it? But then I'm feeling the nose spray, and I'm getting like a blinding pain behind my eye here on the day that she passed. Blinding pain. So I think she may have had some sort of headache prior to passing out. And I also feel like she got up just before she passed away. And she passed away so suddenly. Thud, and I'm out. Okay, so she fell down and passed out of her body. Different than if somebody's in bed and they fall asleep. And they just step out of their body that way. This was, she hit the ground and was out of her body. And I feel like she went to check on her nose. I see her looking at her nose.
Wow. So, wow. So she's basically saying that, you know how when somebody passes away, at times they come out of their body, you know, you see the light, you go towards, you lift out of your body. I kind of relate that to like hospice people who are on their deathbeds and they kind of rise up, as opposed to, like she said, like a collision or something, like boom, it hits you, you're knocked out of your body in a sense. You know how you lose wind when you lose your, you know how when you lose your breath a little bit just by being swung around, you're like, ooh, I need to catch my breath. It's kind of like, I kind of equate it to that. So that's really weird, y'all. Like, oh my gosh, like, let's get into it though.
I do feel she got up to check on the condition of her nose. I don't know if it was itchy. I don't know what. I have pain in the left side of my head. So I feel she passed really rather suddenly. However, there is somebody else that has cameras in her house that she is unaware of. She is unaware, and they were put in her house while she stepped to the side and wasn't in her house. So the cameras were put there without her being able to view it on her own cameras when she wasn't home. And it was done so in such a way that it looked like somebody was making repairs. Okay, so nobody in the neighborhood's like, hey, who's that guy hanging off the second story window? Not like that. This was done all behind the scenes, all low grade. And
that is wild. So obviously it's not going to be like, hey, got you, bitch. It's going to be more under, like she said, behind the scenes. And you got to be careful with people who operate in certain ways that's more maniacal, that's more kind of more subtle. Because it's kind of like when you have crabs over a pot of water, right? You have it in a bowl and you slowly put that heat up just a little bit and just a little bit more. The crabs are not going to start running around and being frenzied. They're not going to feel the heat if you just, they're not going to feel it unless you slowly put the heat up. So that kind of reminds me of that.
Okay, so sorry. Now here's another aspect of this. This is so like crazy. I am being shown November of 2023. So her death date was November 15th of 2018. But I'm being shown November of 2023. I don't think we're done with this. I feel she's shaking her head yes. Before she stare at me, then she wait, and now she's shaking her head yes. Wow. I am being shown that things are being prepared. She is showing me a trumpet. People are standing straight up, and there are people.
P. Diddy, they coming for your ass, P. Diddy. They coming for your ass, P. Diddy. She said it's like a trumpet. It's like people coming up, rallying up. You got to think about what that means on a spiritual level. You got to think about what this means on levels that we cannot see. You get what I'm saying? This is for the people that look into things a little bit more deeper. This content, this video is not going to be for everybody, but this is going to be for people who kind of look at things from a spiritual perspective and dive deeper into that. So she's basically saying there's a trumpet, and she says November of 2023. So let's keep watching.
To speak not just about what happened to her, about other things. Something is unraveling. For some reason, she's showing me like, was one of her kids, I wonder, in band? Because she's showing me like trumpet marching band type music, which is weird because I don't think that that's her favorite, but I'm being shown that. Somebody is leading the march, leading the way. There, that's what it is. Somebody is
leading the way. Listen to what she's saying. Girl, y'all, it's Cassie, y'all. Let's just put it there. She's saying somebody is leading the way to talk about things, other things that took place, right? You got to think about what that means for how things connect, and how when one allegation can trigger another allegation. And, the Me Too movement, like, she speaks up, now he speaks up, and now everybody is this momentum, right? So that's kind of what I was thinking about when she said this. But let's keep going.
Leading the march, leading the way to uncover this information. And I'm getting 5 months. So I feel, sorry, I keep laughing because she's like, out with it. Toxic metal exposure through some kind of metallic something, metal, that's like a pencil shaving. So think of how tiny that is. And it went in through the nasal cavity, through a sniffer thing for colds or for allergies, whatever, nose spray.
Y'all, this is crazy. Like toxic metal as small as a pencil shaving. Now, I don't know if this can be taken to court. Obviously, I don't know if this can be used as evidence, but let's say they did want to reopen this case. They would have to go and do another autopsy and do a toxicology report. I don't know if those levels will still be there or what that might mean, but Lord.
And it was tampered with. So many things were tampered with. Oh my God, her phone was hijacked. She had a second phone, by the way, and nobody got that phone. That phone is hidden. I don't think anybody knows where that phone is because she didn't tell anybody before she passed, but she had a second phone. So conversations about what's going down and coming out were done on a, quote, burner phone. Sounds like a drug deal, but it wasn't. A burner phone.
So who was Kim Porter talking to and discussing things going down on this quote unquote burner phone? What could she have been discussing with these people or whoever on this phone? What type of information lies in this phone? And I wonder, obviously this phone, whatever, but it's just very interesting to think, like, where could this phone be, right?
She has no idea. They've not found this phone because this phone, they don't know where she hid it. And she didn't hide it in her car, in her stuff, or anything like that. She went to get it. It's somewhere where she went to get it. You know what I think? I think she's like, no, don't say it, but I'm going to say it. So here we go. She's using it to show me that when you have energy, and our energy extends out way, way past our physical, okay? And she's the word controllers, when people who want to control you or dominate you have an understanding of outside of the physical world, they can cap your energy so you can't even access the other clips to the movie. That's what she's saying happened to her daughters. It happened to her too. She's talking about the binding that happened when she crossed out of her body that pulled her in a direction she didn't want to go. There was a lot of confusion. What she'd been told about passing away is not what happened to her. She is still here because it is still unsettled. She's not like in a bad place at all. She's with God, not in a bad place, but she's still very, very dimensionally close to this dimension because it hasn't been settled. And because it hasn't been settled, she's not clear. It hurt. In other words, she was taken away from her life early, not through natural circumstances.
So let's break that down. When somebody who is controlling and manipulative, who understands things outside of the physical realm, that is obviously a toxic combination. So P. Diddy obviously is, let's just call a spade a spade. I believe he is a Satanist and he is demonic. And he understands certain things outside of what we can see. And he uses that to control. And he probably used that to control Kim Porter, allegedly, right? So that is really wild, right? So she's saying Kim Porter has unresolved situation when it comes to her death. And she's not in a bad place, but she's kind of not purgatory. I don't know if it's purgatory or what, but she's stuck in this place until she's received justice for her death. And wow, like, it's very interesting to think about these things because obviously God has the final say, and God is the one that's also working these things ultimately and working behind the scenes as well to get the things and to wreak judgment on these people. But basically, that's wild. Like, Kim Porter is, rest in peace to this woman.